This is the Gatekeepers Podcast with Billy Grove. Billy is an innovative leader in the industry who loves teaching others how to build quality fence. So kick back, grab a cold beverage, and get ready to talk about fence. Today's show is sponsored by Mr. Fence Academy, National Metal Industries, and GURY. If you're looking to hit the next level in your fence company, check out Mr. Fence Academy. Real fencers, real job sites, real training equals real results. And now, live from the Mr. Fence Academy studios, here's your host, Billy Grove.
What is going on, everybody? Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Fence Fam. Twitch, if anybody's actually watching on that. I doubt they are. But anyways, hello, Twitch. How's everybody doing on this wonderful Tuesday? I'm doing fabulous. I'm feeling a whole lot better than last week. My apologies. I know it probably sounded super funny. Sick, but, you know, the show's got to go on. Guys, I hope everybody kicked like some major ass this week. Got some fence put in the ground, collected some checks. We had a real good week. A couple trips to my Panama City. Got some stuff done despite the rain. But yeah, man, it's overall been a really good week. As always, I always pretty much have really good weeks. Drop a comment down below if you're watching, guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and do that too. And also make sure that we are subscribing to the audio version in whatever platform that you listen to audio podcast in. Would do an awesome, huge favor for the Gatekeepers Podcast. We're killing it on live views and video views, but lacking in the audio department. Y'all have been killing it as of late, but if not, go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Music, anywhere that you can find a podcast, iHeartRadio. Go search the Gatekeepers Podcast, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Get your weekly downloads. Besides last week, because I had a firmware issue with my audio board, I did not get it up until Friday, but normally it is Wednesday the next morning. They are ready to go for your ride to work. And just go ahead and hit that auto download button. Guys, we got Mr. Gus Hernandez on the show tonight. Super excited about that. Out of Texas, Fence Pros of Texas. Before we get that, I'm over here skipping around saying I was going to stick to the like show notes. Guys, thank you to my sponsors. My first and foremost, we got Mr. Fence Academy, which is, I always screw that up, on that side of me. So there we go. If you're looking to take the next step in your fence business, not just the fence installation side of it, guys, go check out MrFenceAcademy.com, www.MrFenceAcademy.com, National Metal Industries, www.nmifence.com. Guys, if you're in the market for privacy slats, chain link fence, vinyl fence, any type of fence materials, fence tools, you name it, they got it. Ask Mr. Mike Levy for a mailer while you're there. www.nmifence.com. If you're looking for a fence sign, guys, awesome fence sign. This is the number one thing that we like to push. Push your fence signs. It's free advertisement, right? GURY signs and decals, which is right here. I got it right that time. We're going to go this way so the camera will follow me. Boom. GURY signs and decals, www.jcgury.com. In-house screen printing, everything made in the USA. Go check them out. Do yourself a favor. Get your fence sign from GURY. All right, guys. Like I said, we got Mr. Gus Hernandez of Fence Pros of Texas on the show tonight. Gus has been doing some big things on like Facebook and also like in the field. So I felt like what better time than now than to get Gus on and really get him out there. Like he's already doing a fabulous job of doing that like himself, but why not put him on a podcast? So guys, welcome Mr. Gus Hernandez.
Hey, what's up, Billy? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just here in
Heck
the
yeah,
office.
man. Love the background, dude. It looks good.
I appreciate it.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah, man. So, like, how was your week and your past week?
I would say it's definitely picking up as far as the leads are coming inbound, the inbound leads that are coming in, and we had a pretty good week. I just brought on Clayton, which is our sales rep, so he's killing it. You know, he's really knocking it out of the park and doing a pretty good job. So it's been a pretty good week.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. All right, man. For those of us who don't know you, tell us who you are, where you're out of, and the company that you own.
Okay, yeah. So I'm out of San Antonio, Texas, born and raised, and I own Fence Pros of Texas. So basically, we do residential, commercial. We do anywhere from small repairs to very large installations. It started off the company back in, I think it was right before COVID had kicked off. So been in business for probably close to 5 years now.
Nice, 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 man. Well, like speaking of that, so I got into the fence business right before COVID, and so tell us your journey into the fence world.
Yeah, so I was working in the oil field. I think it was in my early 20s. I had been doing it for about 3.5 years. We got unemployment, and I had a friend that introduced me to another individual. He's like, "Hey, this guy will pay you cash under the table, and you can start working with him." So I was working for $100 a day, and I started doing fences, and you know, I quickly realized, like, when I was working in the oil field, I was making, I think it was like 60,000 a year, and so when you're making $100 a day, pretty much you come to a quick conclusion that it's not working out, or it's not gonna work out. And you know, at times you have certain bills that you have to pay when you're living that a certain lifestyle, right? So I ended up just telling him, like, "Hey, I'm gonna do this full time." You know, the oil field was kind of going down, and it wasn't something I want to do forever. And
Right.
eventually just started saving up money. I bought my own truck, bought my own trailer, and we kind of did like a partnership, which was, it was called Top Quality Fencing. A lot of people don't know, before Fence Pros of Texas was Top Quality Fencing. And we started doing our own little side work, and then I started doing subcontracting for the same company that he was with. And we did mainly home builders. So it was basically a mass production, you know. Of course, it's like reflects the pay, it's lower pay, but
Right.
just pumping out a bunch of houses. So
Uh-oh.
production was high, and just knocking out one house after another. And then we had separated, and business didn't work out after a few months. And I did my own thing, but obviously my vision and fencing was just a lot bigger as far as understanding the marketing, and that's why I decided to come out with Fence Pros of Texas. Then I rebranded for the second time, which is this new brand, and I don't think that's ever going to change again.
Right, man. That's awesome, dude. And I love what you're doing right now. And like we'll get into like some of that like later on. But like what you're doing on social media right now, man, is not just funny, first off, but it is awesome brand freaking awareness, dude. I mean, like, dude, like your little shorts and your reels, they're doing, I would imagine on your end, they're doing pretty great.
Yeah, they definitely help. And I think what I tell people is that like, people don't want to know your company, they want to know you. You know?
Yeah.
So like basically with these videos, it's kind of showing, like, not only are we a blended company, right? You know, in culture wise, but it's like we're open about it, you know. And I know this is funny, but like earlier, me and Clayton were laughing, but like we know certain projects that I should probably go on and do the estimate, and some that he should go on, and it's just the hard truth, and it's funny to us. We enjoy it because at the end of the day, it helps us all, you know. So we enjoy doing it, and what I tell people too is, like, when I did my first million in revenue, I think it was about 2 years ago, maybe three. No, about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. I basically had no Google. So I had a website, but I had zero Google reviews. I was strictly social media. So I tell people, like, if you sit here and tell me that you can't build 0 to 1 million without Google, then I can tell you that that's a lie.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's all about, you know, branding yourself correctly, and you know, obviously you know a thing or two about social media, like, or else you wouldn't have gotten to $1 million just based off of social media. Right. But and it takes so little time at the end of the day when you really figure it out to actually brand yourself correctly. And that's what we were talking about last week on the show, is like branding yourself on social media. And it's super funny that you mentioned it. But yeah, man, it's whether it be YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, like we all have our different platforms. Mine, like is Facebook, obviously. But yeah, man, so putting yourself out there, putting yourself in the community that you live in, good Lord, I couldn't get that out, like is the best thing.
Yeah, I think what I tell people too is that, like, there's companies, if you've been around 10 plus years, right, you kind of already planned it yourself. And that's just in every business, any business that you do. And so for us that's just starting out, especially like a lot of companies popped up in the COVID era, you know, and it's like really you just have to know that like you have to do a lot more work in order to try to catch these guys in a short amount of time. If not, like it's going to take you the same amount of time that they did, or they're just going to walk all over you. Right. And so like really what my mission or my goal is that we have to like plan ourselves, and I'm trying to be, you know, one of the largest companies here, but I'm not trying to do it in 10, 20 years. Like a lot of companies, you know, it took them to grow, but I think everybody just has different mindsets and mentalities. And really like mine was just that, hey, I'm super hungry and I want to keep growing and growing up until there's a certain point where I'm happy. But really there's no other way I can do it, especially like being Hispanic. Like it's difficult. Like it's hard. Like at the end of the day, like I get it. And it's not about race or anything. It's just, I get it.
Not at all.
And so I had to like really figure out like, hey, being a minority, how can I just do things to stand out, you know?
Right, man. I completely understand that. Trust me on that one, man. All right. So from the start, what do you think that your vision was, or what is now Fence Pros of Texas? And did you let it evolve naturally, or did you change that to what you wanted it to be?
No. So one was like when we were top quality fencing, even though like I had started everything, and it's funny, like I planned all this years ago. Like, you know, I started top quality fencing about 7 years ago. But it was more like a side hustle thing, right? It wasn't a full-time gig. It was just, you know, hey, we pick up some side jobs, and we did it. But like my phone numbers, if you look at them, it's like 707-1616 is the office, and mine is 707-1717. And like it's just I planned years before, but the thing was that I knew that there was like that burden on my heart that was like, even though he didn't do anything to like reflect on his business, I did the sales and everything. I started the business. I just never wanted to be like scaled to the next level. And it's just always like in the back of my head, like he might think he's part of this. So that was one of the main reasons. It was like, hey, let me just start off fresh. Also during the time of top quality fencing, I didn't really know how to run a business, right? Like it was a side hustle and I knew that when I started Fence Pros of Texas, it was going to be a full-time gig, and I was never going to do any more subcontract work. Cause at the time I was installing, I would sell, I'll install. And obviously, once you get more in depth in business, you quickly realize that you can't do both if you want to scale to the next level. And so that's when I started. Basically, my long-term goal would be that I want to plant myself. I want to have Fence Pros of Texas in every major city in Texas. So that's the reason why it's there. And that's just like, once I plant myself here, I want to plant myself elsewhere. And I have like a vision of how I'm going to do it and mapped out. But I kind of was, you know, we can talk about that off the podcast.
That's awesome, man. That is truly awesome, man. I love to hear that all of your plans have come to fruition, and like especially about the my whole phone number part. Like that's awesome. You had that planned.
And then the orange behind it, if you want to know, is that like all the orange. I'm not big on like, I feel like, you know, like a lot of Hispanics or Latinos is they'll like come out with a tire shop and they're like Hernandez Tire Shop. And it's like, why? Just make it a legitimate business. So like me is I'm big on like, I think you can implement a color or something that's signal like that basically it's something that's very important to you. So me, it was orange because my dad had kidney cancer and he has stage 4 now. And then I had 10% of my kidney removed about 4 or 5 years ago. So that's what the orange stands for behind it. And I think that we can all make a difference in this world and just try to help as best as we can.
That's awesome, man. And I love it's Leo the lion, right?
Yeah,
bro. I love him, man. He's freaking awesome. Put him everywhere. Make freaking stickers. Put him everywhere, dude. It's a awesome uniform, and I hope to get one of those shirts one of those days. We're gonna jump into some comments real quick. We got a bunch of people here in the comment section. First and foremost, we got JC GURY signs of decals. This is Mark and Mary Cobb says, "Hey Billy and Gus." Hello, Mr. Mark and Mary Cobb. We got Chance Roy says, "Everyone know Mr. Gus." Brian Carosi, "Who don't know Gus?" There we go. Got some love for you down in the comment section. Mr. Robert Evers of Two Smooth Operators Podcast. He says, "Hey, awesome people. What's going on, buddy?" Let's see. We got Chance Roy says, "We went over a million off of Facebook. Absolutely possible."
Yeah, we're always talking. Me and Chance. That's my boy.
Hell yeah, bro. Love it.
We're always chatting.
All right, we got Jeff Sorensen says, "Hey Gus, hope you are doing well, my friend."
That's my mentor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. If you haven't heard about Jeff, I'm gonna just put it out there, man. Anytime he comments on like social media, if you're not reading it and taking in what he's saying, like I can just tell you, he has one of the largest companies on those pages, and that dude is like, he's good, man. He's a solid dude, and I always text him or I call him and like, hey, I need some help with this. And he just takes 20, 30 minutes of the time to explain to me how I should bid on that job. And awesome dude. I love him.
It is awesome networking, isn't it, man? It's awesome to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody, whether they're 100 miles away or 1,000 miles away, and get an answer.
Sure. Yep. I met him at Tony Thornton business group in OKC or Oklahoma.
There we go. All right, we got Mr. Evan Gardner says, "Gus has the sickest rolling billboard." All right, Robert Whitaker, I think is the first time commenting. What's up, man? He says, "What's up, y'all, from Purple Coaching and Consulting at Magnolia Fence and Patio. Can't wait to see everyone next week." Yeah,
Robert was a coach, our coach last year. So nice. Robert knows a lot about me. I know a lot about him. So great individual too.
Nice.
Big shout out to Robert.
All right. Karen McManus O'Neill says, "Good to meet you, Gus, and hi, Billy." Hello. How are you?
Hello, Karen.
We got Mr. Cannon Johnson in the house. Oh man, dude, thank you so much for watching. He says that like branding though, absolutely, dude. You ain't wrong about that. It's freaking fire.
Appreciate that, Cannon.
All right, guys, we're gonna move on from the comments when they build up.
Look, talk about branding.
Oh, hell yeah, man. I'll send you
we got that.
Oh, hell yeah. So I'll send you a Gatekeeper's fence sign and some Gatekeeper sign or some Gatekeeper stickers if you send me some of those.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Hell yeah. Love it. All right, guys. So we will get back to the comments here shortly. We are going to get into the nit and gritty of the episode, which is raising the bar in your local market. First and foremost, this is a question that I personally wanted to ask. How did you get away from the normal Texas style of privacy fence where they put the top rail flat?
Toenailed?
Yeah.
So, all right. So, like, it's not that it's a Texas style. It's really the home builders. Just to clarify.
Okay.
I would not install it that way. So, like, I used to do home builders. So, like, when you build a fence, right, it's toenailed because technically you save about 2 inches on the 2x4.
Right.
But the problem with that is what happens is you nail two 2x4s on the bottom, right? It's toenailed, and then your top is flat. Mm-hmm. Well, when you flip it this way, you only have 2 inches that are supporting the weight of the fence. When you have it this way, you're having 4 inches. So you'll see over time where you look at those fences and they'll start bowing in the middle. Well, it's because of the way it's constructed. And then also when you toenail it, over time it's going to shrink, and those nails are shot at a 45 degree. So they start popping out. Right. It's not the right way to build it, but a lot of these home builders, like their contract makes you build it that way. Like they won't change it. So that's like all the time that you'll see them build like that is one is because the guys don't know what they're doing and they rebuild it the same and they don't like educate the customer, but it's like using an original fence.
Right. Makes
That's
sense.
not
Makes
Texas
sense.
style. I hate it.
You do hate it, man. That got you fired up right there.
Yeah, I'm like, hey man. I mean, we wear boots though, like that's something I'll be like, hey, we can, take accountability for it, but not
right. Well,
not
so that's all I've ever known is that was the like Texas style, because that's all I've seen on like all the pages. Everybody call it Texas style. How was the road down telling all your new clients who had already had this Texas style home builder style fence that you weren't gonna like provide that you were gonna buy like put in a superior product over a toe-nailed flat railed fence?
I think it's really education. So it's educating your customers. I think that's the biggest part. Instead of a lot of times people try to sell a product instead of just educating, and that itself is going to sell it. So when I go in there and I just let the customer know exactly, like there's a difference between a want and a need. So some customers might want something, but that's not within their budget, and then there's something that you actually need. It's like, hey, you want this kind of fence, but you need this. So really it's just understanding, like you're kind of like speaking on their behalf, and they're like, okay, hey, you're right on what you're saying. So really that's what I do is I go in and I just educate them the best as possible and just be honest and, run my business with full integrity. And I think that's what helps in the sales jobs.
Nice. Okay. All right. Well, that leads us to one of my next questions that I'm super, super excited for. So what does it mean personally to you to raise the bar in your local market?
I think it's good. What happens is like it forces people to do better fences, and yeah, I see all the time, like people try to copy me, and I used to, when I first started doing it, I would get upset, right? But now it's like I don't care anymore, because it's like at the end of the day, if I start offering, like we don't do pine pickets at all. I'm not saying anything about any guys that use it. We just don't do pine. I will turn down a job instead of installing pine. I don't care if it's going to make me money or whatnot, but I'm just not going to install it. That's just my professional opinion. But other guys will. And so I think really, like when I first started in the business, like it was always pine, and now people call and they're like, hey, we need cedar. So I know I didn't say I'm the only reason that I changed the industry down here in San Antonio, but I definitely changed the industry standards, and I definitely helped out raising the bar and changing the industry standards. So really it's just, I think just everybody sees me on social media, people see me in person, and like other fence guys, and they're like, man, hey, your shit's badass, and I think it's just like they have that respect towards you, and I'm willing to help everybody. I think before I wouldn't add certain people because of that, and I'm like, at the end of the day, there's enough work for everybody, and I think that's the biggest thing is, hey, there's plenty of work. We all can eat very well. You just really have to do a good job, because if not, social media is very powerful at the same time for good and bad. So I can tell you that people will let it be known very quick.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that is one thing that I've learned, not the hard way, but social media can either make you or break you, and just do good work, and it won't make you or break you, right? Or like it won't break you, but
for sure.
Yeah. So, all right, let's move into like a different side of things. What are some key things that newer fence companies should focus on to separate themselves from the competition?
Branding. But no, I think the biggest thing is just like whether you're starting your own fence company or you're just a leader or a sales guy, I think really you got to get in front of people, right? Like no matter what size you are, if I can be smallest company around, but if I get in front of that customer before you do, then I have a better chance. So really it's just how can you go, and you have to be more hungry. Like I can tell you I was more hungry when I first started than I am now, and that's why I have played in to kind of like push us to get that drive again. But it's really like nobody's gonna reach out to you. You got to reach out to them. So like we do mailers, we do flyers, we do door hangers. So we really get in front of people. And there's times that, hey, we piss people off. They're like, I'm not home, and you left out a flyer, or you left a door hanger, and they'll call us, and I'm like, well, just throw it away. I don't care. Like, calm down. It's not that big of a deal, man. We're just trying to offer you a great service. And so really, I think you just got to be hungry. You got to be all over social media. You got to be all over the jobs, putting out signs. That's it. Getting in front of people. I think it's like, there's like that saying where it's like 7 touches. You have to touch people 7 times before they'll reach out to you. So if they see you once on social media, if they see a sign, a yard sign, whatever the case is, they'll finally reach out to you if you don't get in front of them. So really just trying to get as much touches as you can. And that's it, man. Just be hungry, invest in your company will invest in you.
That's some great advice, man. And I love the 7 touches things. That's totally true, man. Once you see it 7 times, it's in your brain. Like,
yeah,
like you're done with it.
Yes, sir. Yep.
There's no getting it out. All right, man. So what has been the best strategies for customer retention? Is word of mouth better for you, or now that you've gotten on Google and like the SEO, like what's your preference?
Really, I think now that we have Google and we have like 120 5-star reviews or whatever the case is, our 4.9 rating, I think that does help us. And then on top of it, like we're building our SEO, and then we're building our website. We build our website through .com, and I have everything matching on the brand. And
Nice.
so like from the time that like a customer first reaches out to us, like we have like our shirts match, our hats are matching, the Vans are fully wrapped, the same exact style. Our emails, I just finished it today, but it's the exact same style as my background, except with pictures of us. And like everything you see, it matches. Our business cards are the exact same way, and I can show you the business cards. I have one here. Everything is exactly the same. And so I think it's hard to say which one's better, because I always tell the team, if it's a recommendation, it's usually a higher lead, because it was a word of mouth versus like an actual Google review. I think word of mouth is always a higher lead than you'll get on Google. But I think currently we've been getting a lot of leads off of both. And so that's where you start building that pipeline, and you just got to close it. You got to go show up and close it. And so we got a really good closing rate with Clayton. And I think really it's hard to say which one's better right now, honestly. It's all kind of new to us, and we're kind of like, we get a lot of calls from Google and also recommendations, social media. So we're not really good at tracking it, but we try our best, and I think it's just coming from all over the place.
Right. So we've just recently dove really hard into tracking Google leads, and it is a somewhat of a task, but yeah, man, it works out, bro. It actually, like, it pays for itself. And you were absolutely right. Word of mouth, those leads tend to sell like a lot easier.
Yeah, I think it just builds that trust as soon as they call you.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, so speaking of trust, we're gonna like segue into the next one. How are you ensuring that all of the fences are meeting the Fence Pros of Texas like standards? Do you have training days? Is there a special crew that trains new guys and then they go out to whatever crew? Like, what's your process on that?
I wouldn't say we really have a process. I just think that, and this is what I tell customers, is not every job's gonna go perfect. Like no human is perfect. There's times that I make an error on an estimate, so I'm expecting my guys to make error on jobs. But as long as it's not like the same issue is not constantly occurring, then we're okay. But the biggest thing, like what I do, is we check on the guys, make sure they're doing the installation correctly. And if there's not something wrong, well, then I send them back and I address the issue, right? So like something so dumb, man. I like last week, the guys were short on 1 2x4 and tried to get away with it. And I'm like, the customer sends a picture. I'm like, why are you lying about something so small? Like, so I send them back, yesterday. I was like, I don't care if you're not working today, you're going to go out there and do it on your own time. So really it's just holding each other accountable. And the guy is one of my main guys. He's been with me for 7 years. Back when he was with me when I was, in the driver's seat. and he moved into the driver's seat, and I stepped back, and that's where I started selling and running operations. So really, it's just having a good set of guys and holding them accountable, and understanding that they're not going to be perfect. There's going to be some human errors, but just try your best to have a great set of guys. And I think right now I really do have a great team. And even on the welding side, our welder, it's him and his brother. He's been with me for about 3.5 years. And like, I don't have to hold their hand. Their quality is really always there. So I think I just have a great team right now. I've been blessed. I think I just have a really good team.
So as far as training, do you have a certain crew that the new guy goes with?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really onboarded, so it's like we have 3 crews, and like we just like if the workload is there, that's the thing with me, and I told Clayton the same thing. Like, hey, if the workload is there, we'll work Saturday and Sundays, and like I know people are big on that, but like my guys are, if I can feed my guys more money that have been with me for many years, then they're willing to work, they're willing to make the extra money. Like, they don't care if they gotta go up early, show up early, stay late. Like, my guys are just like, hey, if the work is there, let's knock it out. So really, we just push out the production. If I have to bring a sub in to help out, then I'll start, like, I'll monitor those guys. Because the thing is, I know how to install fences. So, like, I'm the one that kind of watches them, and I'm like, hey, do it this way. Don't do that again. Or like, hey, let's go back. Let's fix this picket. Whatever the case may be. Right. But the biggest thing is, like, we don't have really a training. I think if anything, your best training is going to be on site. So if I'm going to take the time and I'm having issues, like, I'll go on site. Like, we're doing an R panel job. I think it's like a few hundred feet. The guys know how to build it, but I kind of got to line them up. I got to start them up and show them the steps of the corrugated, how to put up the panels, how to screw it in, and how to mark it. I kind of got to guide them on that, and then the rest they can take over. So certain projects that you just kind of have to be a little, I guess, I don't know what the correct word is, but.
See, I'm at that point too, but a little bit different. Like, all I really have to go do is like lay it out for them. Like, I have to tell them where to start, stop, corners, and stuff like that. Once I'm done with that and they know where it goes, because we got a lot of green guys right now, so I don't trust them reading plot plans and like stuff like that, surveys. So like, once I really get them like set up, I can almost turn them loose. I got to check on them every couple hours, of course, just because they still do have questions and stuff. But that's kind of where I'm at as well. And then like, of course, I got my 2 favorite amigos, like Saul and like Melandro, Max and Nelson, and us 3, man. If I had a perfect fence team, it would be us 3. We can almost not even talk to each other and get everything done. It's awesome. Like, once crews start rolling like that, man, you're putting some stuff in the ground.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think it's just trust and really just training. I think if you have, so like, my guys aren't really green. Like, one, he's been with for 7 years. So like, and we built every type of fence. Like, I was the type of guy that, like, hey, if there was work that needed to be done and I never did it, I'm going to do it, And so that's kind of why, like, when I was installing, I was pretty known. A lot of like companies will always call me, like, because they know I'll get them caught up. Like, they'll be like, hey, I have 2 weeks worth of work, and I'll do it in 1 week. Like, I'll show up, we just knock it out 7 days, and they're caught up. So, from like chain link to iron to welding, ranch fences, like all those things I was capable of doing. But really, I don't push my guys that much. I just try to have them specialize in certain things. But yeah, so I have pretty good installers. We're pretty blessed. And
that's awesome, man.
They're reliable. So
freaking awesome. All right. So how do you keep the company culture going to maintain guys who are not green day in and day out then?
Usually, so like, obviously, when it comes to installation, I think most companies around America, most of them are going to be Latinos, the Latino culture that are installing. And most of the time, like, you'll have, like, if you see, like, you go to another fence company, that they'll usually have like somebody that they can bring on board. Like, hey, I have a guy that's looking for work. And so it's really like a word of mouth from them. We really don't have to search. It's more like, I'll tell them like, hey, we need a couple guys. Then they'll come and bring them on. And if they're not good, then they kind of hold them accountable. Like, hey, man, like, this is the way we work. This is how hard we work. Fencing is not easy. You don't really have to like once you have experienced guys, they kind of handle that for you without you having to do it. So I think every position is different and every person is different, but the guys I have, like, they'll make sure they push them so it doesn't affect their workload.
Nice, man. That is absolutely true too, man. Once you got a good group of guys, they will start weeding out all the weeds for you.
Yeah,
they really will. Guys, we're gonna get to 2 more comments and then 1 more question, and then we're gonna roll a commercial for a minute. Cannon Johnson says, Gus, thank you for what you're doing for the Latino community out here. For real though.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we got a meeting in AFA, but we'll see how it goes. I think there's some good things that are coming out for the Latino community. So
I would really love that, because I would really love to send my 2 to something. I would really love that.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I can say that much.
All right, we got Miss Yadira Fredrickson. She says, that's my saying. At the end of the day, there's enough work for everybody.
Yep.
All right, Brian Carosi says, every person has their own role and everyone is important as everyone else. Yep. Absolutely true, my man. Absolutely true. All right. So how are you balancing the scaling of your business while also maintaining high quality marketing and business work as well? Like high quality fence work and then high quality marketing work as well.
It wasn't very efficient. Like, I don't post videos like I should. And so I think when I would post a video, what I do is, like, I'll sit here if I'm in the office, like having a wig, like that's just things that go in my idea and I just start typing them and I'll do it. I'll do the video. We have something else. I'll tell you guys, I have bought a chain. It's a big old chain. And it's a Fence Pros logo. It just came in today. It's pretty funny. And so I got a script I'm going to do, and I just come up with these things, and I just spend the money, and I order, and I'm like, hey, this is either going to work or it's not. So really, it was tough. I think it was only me and 1 office person. So it was just 2 people in the office last year. And we had we had a guy running operations, but it wasn't a really good hire. But anyways, it was basically just 2 people in the office running all the guys and, doing, I think, like, I'll be full transparent. They were doing like 1.6, 1.7 million revenue. And so what I tell people is, like, you don't need that many people. You just got to be dedicated and just work hard. So, like, obviously this year is like, we're like killing it right now. So I can say we're on track to do like what my goal is. But I think the biggest thing is that a lot of people want to hire, like, I see all these companies with like 10 people, and I'm like, with the same revenue I do, I'm like, you don't need that many people. Just work harder. So I think the balancing it's kind of hard sometimes. I think it's a lot easier now that I have somebody helping me. And instead of working on the business, I can kind of instead of working in the business, I can work on the business, and he's working in the business. So I think those are just 2 different things and 2 different tasks. So a lot of it right now, what I'm focused on is like doing these videos and being more efficient on it so we can generate more leads and I can pass them on to the sales reps. So,
right. Love it,
really,
man.
I think it's hard to balance it. I didn't really have a balance, man. It was just whenever I had time, I'm going to do it.
Hey, man, honesty is always best, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Well, with that said, we're going to roll 2 commercials. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
National Metal Industries, a family-owned business for 70-plus years, has grown to be recognized for their ability to deliver on not just privacy slats for fence, but all types of fence products. National Metal Industries has all the hardware and tools to get the fence professional in and out of their job with the most ease possible. You can count on National Metal Industries for the most convenient resources in fence products. Visit nmifence.com for more information. As we like to say, you can always pick it right at National. J.C. GURY Signs and Decals has been a trusted name in the sign industry since 1949, with all manufacturing done in-house from start to finish right here in the USA. With 75 years in outdoor signage and roots dating back to the 1920s, JC GURY specializes in durable, high-quality signs and decals. In-house screen printing since the 1970s ensures every product meets the highest standards. Visit jcgury.com for more information. Every aluminum sign includes Mylar lamination at no extra cost, extending product life in tough outdoor conditions. For unmatched quality and longevity, visit jcgury.com.
All right, guys, we're back. I got to do a quick sponsor shout out. Once again, if you are looking to change your fence business and take the next step, go hit up MrFenceAcademy.com, www.MrFenceAcademy.com. If you're looking for privacy slats, chain link material, vinyl, fence tools, and an all-around awesome mailer, go check out www.nmifence.com, National Metal Industries. Guys, if you're looking for a fence sign, the true best fence signs on the market, check out jcgury.com. Best fence signs on the market, hands down. I have some old like fence signs of mine that have never seen the light of day that are in a. There we go. Gus got some ones.
JC too.
Yep. But they had never seen the light of day. They were black. I took them out the other day. They're already gray and they've never even seen sunlight. Go check out www.jcgury.com. Get yourself some fence signs. Get yourself something from National Metal Industries, and go check out MrFenceAcademy.com. All right, man. Back to it. Nice little 2-minute break. All right, buddy. So we are in our last and final segment. This is more geared towards our newer guys, new guys. What are some common like mistakes that you've seen in your local fence companies, and some advice on how to not make those mistakes?
I could say mistakes for myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really care what anybody else mistake does. I mean, I can say I have a buddy that has a fence company, and he'd probably be very successful. He can give up drinking, and he gets paid and he goes drinks it off, and we talk. I love the guy to death, but great dude, but he just can't give up that partying life. So that's one of them, right? If you want to go personal, but I think really when you're starting off a business is a lot of people make a mistake, and I did that when I first started. That's why my business isn't where I expected it to be. Is that you have to get back into your business. I really can't stress that enough. Like, you see, like everything I have right now, like even my business card, like everybody has one. And so I'm constantly, the only thing I haven't done is a sign, because we're working on to make it match the brand, but still it's kind of been hard on with me and JC GURY trying to figure out a right sign. But really, like, these past couple of years, I literally gave almost everything into the business. And that's where we went to the next level. And each year, or each month, it's been a different opportunity that has came up. And really, like when I first started into Fence Pros, like I would get paid and then I would go spend a couple grand, I would go spend it on something I really didn't need. And it's the biggest thing is just budgeting and just try to invest, like, especially when you're growing phases, like when you're established company, like even myself, I wouldn't consider myself established, because I mean, I'm established, but not where not where I want to be. But like I have like 4 company vehicles and they're all paid off. Right. And because I bought them like that, and I bought them cash, or I paid them off quick. Right. So, but I tell people, I'm like, you gotta understand, whenever you're doing this, you got to buy a vehicle for you and your crew. So you got to buy 2 vehicles. And then either you can make payments, or if you have it in cash, but you have to invest into that. Wrapping in vehicles, I think that's the biggest thing, the biggest investment you can do. And you don't see that very often here in San Antonio. So what I tell people, I'm like, hey, the biggest thing you can do when you're first starting is whenever you make that first 3, 4, 5,000, you put it into wrapping your vehicle. Right. And don't do a half-ass wrap, like do it the right way. And and that truck will make you more than anything else as you're driving around, as you're working remote, you're going to different estimates, you're door knocking. It's constant billboard that's there on site. So I think the biggest thing is just really invest in your company. And that's it. It's going to be hard. If you work for a company, you make good money, it's going to be hard. The chances of you surviving is very hard, but just can't give up.
Hell yeah, man. I love it. So I guess the answer to this question is going to be branding. But so if someone was looking to elevate their business, what would be the first piece of advice that you give them?
Branding, but
Yeah.
I think really like even something as simple as like networking. I think like what I'm holding my team accountable for is like last week they went to their first networking event. My buddy, he's very known in San Antonio, and he hosts great events. And so I said, hey, you guys are going to all these events. Any networking event that I see or you guys see, you need to start going to them pop-up events. So we went to we did a pop-up event this weekend. It was Universal City, and it costed like $50, but like it was like, are we going to generate any leads or not? Who cares? At least our brand is in front of these people. So if they do ever need a fence company, they're going to automatically think of us. So
Right.
I'm making my team network. So they went to one last week. Everybody was complimenting them on their shirts. It's like, I don't care. Everybody's in suits, but we're wearing our shirts. Like you don't have to come. That's what we do. You automatically. So I think that's going to make a difference, is like really getting in front of people, whether it's a customer or it's just a potential home builder, realtors, whatever the case is. You just got to get in front of them, reach out to them, offer them a commission. I don't know. Like, I know people aren't big on doing that, but like I give like 2% commission to realtors or people that like if it's a developer or realtor, I'll give them 2%. I'll be like, hey, here's your couple of dollars. Like, I don't care. Like, whatever the case is, end of the day, we're all here to make money.
Absolutely. Hell yeah, man. All right, bud. Well, you got any closing thoughts for us? We are coming up on time here.
No, I just want to say I appreciate what you're doing. I think anybody that's doing a podcast in the fence industry is helping advance the industry forward and making it grow. And whether it's with yourself or any other podcast, I really just think it's a big movement, because we're so far behind. Like, you see these other companies like roofing, AC, you see their kind of events, and they're so much bigger. Yep. And I think what the change that's coming in the AFA with the Latino community is going to make a huge difference. But really, I think we thank people like yourself that take the time out their day to do podcasts and push out this and also, like, it's brand awareness or whatever the topic is. Like, people might have never heard of me, but after they watch this, they're going to look into it and be like, all right, maybe this guy is right. So I think just getting the right people on the podcast and moving this industry forward, we really appreciate you.
Actually, man. Like, and that was the whole goal behind it was, like, I don't care at the end of the day. Like, I do care, but like at the end of the day, if I don't get like an X amount of views on this video, it doesn't hurt my feelings, right? Like, all I really care about is that one person watched it. Like, if that one person got the idea or got some sort of advice from the podcast, whether it be me or the guest on the show, that's my whole reason behind this.
You made a difference.
Help anybody who wants help and who is actively seeking help. You can ask a couple hundred people, man. If you like send me a text message, I'll probably answer. Probably within 24 hours. I might not always have the answer for you, but I know someone who will, and I will like direct you in the right direction. But like, that was my whole thing about it.
I listened to another podcaster, and he's like, you might not be able to get a hold of me, but if you take the time to listen to the podcast that I'm doing, I promise you'll get all those answers, all those questions answered for you.
Yep, man. And that was another reason why I did it too, because my personal time is involved, and there was a time in my life where I was sitting outside at 9:45 at night on a Saturday drinking a beer, and I had 5 or 6 different like fence conversations going with people that I couldn't tell you who was Adam or Bob. So that was one of the other reasons why I started it, was to get the mass information spread, like do awareness of the industry, and just like give people like a helping hand up. Like put them out in the industry, let people know who can answer whatever question you have, man. And 99% of us, man, if you send us a text message, we'll answer it with a question. And like I said, like, if I don't know, I'll send you to the right direction of somebody who does know.
For sure. I think that's good karma, though. At the end of the day, right? I think there's bad karma and good karma. And I think when you do stuff like that, God's going to bless you in different ways. And just always try to help, give back to the community. and just help people, and you know, you'll be blessed 10 times more. So that's what I do. You know, I come on here and I just try to share honest advice, and whether it works or not, I promise you that some of these something on this podcast, whether it was what the things you said or I said, you'll get some golden nuggets.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, like, tell everybody where to find you at.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Gus_the Fence Guy, or Facebook, Gus Hernandez Jr. TikTok, same thing, Gus the Fence Guy. Or you can hit me up directly. My number's all like on my fence page. So always message me if you have a question. I try my best to reply and help anybody out. So that's really where you can find me. Or you can find me in San Antonio. Come and see me. We'll go have lunch.
There we go, baby.
Buy me lunch and I'll go.
Oh, hell yeah, man. He says buy you lunch and he'll show up.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, hey, man, thank you so much for coming on the show and like taking an hour out of your night like to be on the show.
Yeah. Thank you
very much appreciate it. And like I said, shoot me your address whenever we get off of here, and I'll send you a sign and some stickers. And other than that, man, I hope to see you at some sort of training event or maybe the fence show in Las Vegas this year. I'll
be at Fence Tech, so
I'm not going to be there, unfortunately.
That's all right. I'll be there at Vegas. That was a fun one.
All right, man. Well, I will see you in Vegas, and you have a wonderful night. All right.
All right. You too. Thank you.
All right, buddy. All right, guys. I hit the outro tonight and not the intro. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Like, once again, I will have the audio version uploaded for you to listen to on your way to work in the morning. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Music, iHeartRadio, any major platform that you can listen to audio podcasts for on. Guys, go give us a check it. Go give us a like and a subscribe. Hit that auto download button so that way every Wednesday morning you can listen to it without having to download it. And look at that, we got Mr. Chris Steele in the house on the way home. All right, guys, y'all have a wonderful night. I'll catch y'all next Tuesday.